Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of the Chroncast. As always, I'm your host, Alex Rickman, editor and head writer at Canucks Chronicles. I should be able to say the name of my own website. Club reporter at Altitude FC. Joining me, as always, from the hockey news, we have Kaja Antic. Kaja, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Before we talk about the really big news of yesterday, we'll go a little bit over the Canucks game from yesterday. They lost again. In a shock to no one.
Shocker!
Making it 11 consecutive losses for the Vancouver Canucks, which I've seen some mixed reporting on this. I believe has tied the franchise record for consecutive losses, or something. There was something with overtime losses making this confusing. Anyway, we're bad right now. A 4-3 loss to the New York Islanders on home ice. I mean, what is there to say about this game?
Was there a trade that just happened?
Well,
Between
there was...
Colorado and Pittsburgh?
What?
I don't know. Ilya Solovyov is trending? Oh, there was a trade, but it's very minor between the Penguins.
Okay.
Carry on. Yeah. The Canucks are bad.
Yeah, I largely was not watching the game. I spent more of it watching the College Football National Championship game between Indiana and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really nothing on ice right now worth watching. With, the one notable exception, the guy who has been able to give it his all every night this season, Kiefer Sherwood. Okay, so we have some news as well from yesterday. This is really the meat of the show today, I think. Kiefer Sherwood is a San Jose Shark, being traded in the morning for a 2026 first, a 2027... No, second. Sorry, not first. Jesus.
I was like, wait, wow.
I've decided that the San Jose Sharks must give us a first. Anyway. No, Sherwood traded for 2026 and 2027 seconds, as well as defenseman Cole Clayton. Kaja, initial thoughts on the deal?
It was kind of inevitable. I know his wife is due with their first kid in April, so it made sense for them to move on earlier. And I think that's a good thing that they did. I was surprised it was the Sharks, because I don't know why I was always thinking East or at least Central at the very most. But I like the pick for the Sharks. They're up and coming. I think he's going to have a pretty immediate impact on that team. It's a very good team at the moment. The energy is great. I think he'll add even more to that. I don't know why. I think it's the hair. I think they have similar haircuts. I always thought of Kiefer Sherwood somewhat as Tyler Toffoli, but hits more. You can see that with the hair, right? You can see it.
The hair, yes.
Okay, that's about it.
The hair, yes.
That was the only comparison. Everything else about them, not alike. But just the hair. But yeah, I'm excited. I really like the Sharks, so it will be a great time to watch Kiefer Sherwood play on a good hockey team. Which, yeah, the San Jose Sharks are right now. If you're not watching the Sharks, then you should be. Your game just started. Wait a minute. Yeah, their game just started. Yeah, they're exciting. I'm happy for him. I was a little surprised because also, they kind of already have their tough guy in, Ryan Reeves being on their team, but I guess they needed one that can also score goals because I think yesterday was the first Sharks game all season where they won without Macklin Celebrini needing a point, which is good for Mac, but it's also slightly concerning. That child is 19. Whoa, loud. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying at this point. I like the return too.
No,
I don't know much
yeah.
about Clayton, but
No, I mean, it's definitely, like you were saying, I didn't necessarily imagine him going to another team in the Pacific. I kind of
yeah,
had
because they all suck
Central
mostly.
or Eastern Conference viewed as most likely. Largely not a very strong division. Just felt like more potential suitors were going to come from either the Central or one of the Eastern Conference teams. San Jose is a bit of an interesting one to me because, like, I like what they're doing. They're going in the right direction. They're going to be a contender within the next few years, I think, but they're not quite a contender right now. With the young core that they have and the prospect they have in their pipeline, they can absolutely afford to lose out on a couple second-round picks. That's not a big price for them. But just going for Sherwood at, I believe he's 31 now, without an extension and with the likely cost of an extension being quite high, I do kind of wonder how he fits into this team long term over how he might have fit into some others. That being said, the Sharks could absolutely afford to do it, and I think should absolutely be looking into extending him for the right price, but I don't know how all of that would age. I also think for the Canucks, we were all hoping they would get that first round pick back. Ultimately, the market just wasn't there for it, but getting a second round pick this year as well as next year, huge. And as it stands, the Canucks would have 4 picks right now inside the top 40 of the draft, and I believe that this would actually, as it stands, be the first time in franchise history that the Canucks have 2 picks in both the first and second round of a draft, which is insane to think about for a franchise with nearly 60 years of history. But I like that we are actually seeing them commit to making some of these moves and to getting these future assets. I think it's likely Evander Kane out the door next as an upcoming UFA, although we could see extended players move as well. We've heard rumors that, as well, the LA Kings are potentially interested in Evander Kane, with Ken Holland being his former GM in Edmonton making a lot of sense there. Additionally, Ken Holland being something of a serial overpayer in trades, I think if the LA Kings do make you an offer for Kane, you accept it immediately because that is probably going to be your best offer. But this also has me wondering, and I want to get your opinion on this as well, because we have some rumors from today as well about the possibility of an Elias Pettersson trade coming up. So there's been Pettersson trade rumors in Vancouver for ages, but right now it feels a little different just with the fact that we're actually seeing the word rebuild used. We're seeing moves that indicate it's actually potentially something that's happening, and we're just seeing a general commitment from the front office to doing different things than they've done before. According to Frank Saravalli, there's been some talk about the Canucks trying to trade Pettersson. Wow. Trade Pettersson before the Olympic break. As well as saying he thinks there's a good chance that we try to move him out, or that we do move him out this season, as well as saying that there's a chance that we would be getting a better turn than we did for JT Miller in a Pettersson trade. Now, knowing that this is Michael Bublé's favorite insider, Frank Saravalli, we're not sure how much of this to buy in on, but what do you make of this right now?
Frank Saravalli knows absolutely nothing. Generally, at any point, at any time, I don't trust a word that comes out of that man's mouth. So I really don't have any glowing opinions of him, if not already obvious. If a Pettersson deal got done, I don't think we could get a bigger return than Miller, but I feel like that only happens if they retain money on the deal. I don't realistically, Miller was a smaller deal and an older player, but still you're getting so much other baggage. And I don't know. I really don't understand. I still think it's too much of a risk. Personally, I don't think it's worth it in the long run, because if you are rebuilding, you still want to have some veteran players, and if it's going to be 2 or 3 years before you're good again, maybe it's 2 or 3 years before he gets back into it. So, yeah, I think getting rid of Pettersson could potentially stunt the growth of a lot of the young players that are coming through the system already and that are pushing through, especially if, once they get second overall and get Stenberg, then, The Canucks are never getting first overall, so don't come at me with anything like that. They're never getting first overall. They never have in their history, not even in 1970, and they never will. Yeah, that's just the truth. And I don't think any ounce of it is true. I'm more of an NHL insider than Frank frickin' Saravalli, so. Bro is so bad at his job, he couldn't read dates that Michael Bublé's son, Elias, was named before Elias Pettersson was ever linked to the Canucks. Anyway.
If it was just
you say your point.
Frank reporting on it, I don't think I would be buying in too much, but the fact that we have also been hearing this from others before he hopped on and went into more specifics on it has me a little bit more interested.
Who? Name your sources.
I'm forgetting his first name, unfortunately, of this insider. D'Amico?
I do not know.
Connection issues. D'Amico, as well as some
you've been breaking out
Philly reporters talking about the idea of the Flyers.
Which is
I
ridiculous.
was saying I had a notification showing connection issues, so I was just waiting.
Oh, yeah, no, you were breaking.
The Flyers would be a weird one, but anyway.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers, coached by Rick Tocchet. Bro, was that not part of the whole reason? Anyway, part of the whole issue. Then again, there is the guy who has ruined 2 NHL teams in the span of a few months, so not Rick, the other one. Alex died. Well, I guess I'm just talking to myself then.
Some technical issues on my end here. Just kind of back into the Elias Pettersson conversation. No, I think it's coming from a few reporters now that we're at least open to anything right now. I don't necessarily think a deal is imminent, but I think it's a lot more possible than it's been in a while. I also would certainly be open to it under the right conditions. First of all, if you were to get an offer, like some of these reports are indicating, that would be of significantly higher value than what you got back for JT Miller, depending on what the salary retention would be, there's even a world in which I'm willing to do that. An example of an offer I saw was from the Utah Mammoth, a first-round pick, Caleb Desnoyers, and Daniel Boot for Pettersson. Those are 2 incredibly high-end prospects on top of a first-round pick. To get those guys, I would be willing to do so, especially... One, because we've added Marco Rossi to give us, something down the middle that can give you some kind of function at the center position. In the meantime, at least another legitimate top 6 option. Once he's back healthy, of course. I also, because I completely agree that over the course of a rebuild, you need to keep certain veteran presences around to give the team some stability, to guide the young players, to do all that. Just with some of the habits we've seen from Pettersson and all that, I'm not necessarily sure he's the archetype I want to be showing the young players, just because we've seen multiple guys show problems with his work ethic, with what he's putting in the offseason. Even this offseason, when he was supposedly coming in looking for a revenge year, just such a slow start to the season and not looking like he was coming in ready for it. I'm not necessarily sure that's the guy I want to be the guiding light for young players, as opposed to somebody who is maybe more of somebody who is there and putting the work in and is putting in the good habits and all that. I also think, the talent is obviously still there for Elias Pettersson. I also just really am doubting that Vancouver is the right market for him to do so in, just with how bad things have gotten and with the Canadian markets especially, and Vancouver being among the most intense even within this hockey crazed country, with how tense it gets, I don't know if this is necessarily the best bounce back environment. Whereas if he was in a place like Utah where it's a more forgiving market, I think for him probably goes over a lot better. So I don't know. I'm definitely open to it. I think even would make a lot of sense if, as part of the deal, depending on where he goes to, obviously, we know the Carolina Hurricanes would be someone interested. If part of the deal is bringing back Kotkaniemi largely for cap purposes, but also because he could, temporarily be someone who you plug into the top six just to kind of fill that space for a year or two while you're in a rebuild process.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder about all that, but ultimately I'm at a point where I'm certainly willing to hear things out.
I don't know. I guess I'm just so done with all of this at this point that I'm like, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's
this core group too just generally has really lost the fan base largely, to the point where the guys already have been moved out. There was not really much outcry towards moving them, and I think so many people, when you look at guys like Pettersson and Demko especially, who a few years ago would have been considered untouchable, you're now seeing so many fans shift to trade them now, get rid of them. And it just shows how tired the fans are of seeing the same old team and how much we want to see some change.
Yeah, I think it also doesn't help that, like, specifically in the side of Demko, that the Canucks got rid of a goalie that is actually playing, for a guy who can barely manage to stand on the ice for longer than 10 minutes and not get, I don't know, somehow injured.
Another discussion I want to have a little bit just regarding the Canucks kind of rebuild direction. So Adam Foote has largely been referred to as the tank commander across Vancouver because he has truly led this team on a race to the bottom. There's been some discourse among fans as to whether or not Adam Foote should continue to be the Canucks coach for the rest of this season. Because on the one hand, there are people on Team Tank who want him to continue because we are in a several game lead for bottom spot and the highest lottery odds right now. But on the other hand, that has largely come at the cost of minutes to some of the Canucks young players. So you're seeing guys like Atu Ratu end up in the press box. You're seeing guys like Niels Höglander end up in the press box. You're seeing Liam Ogren not get that many minutes while struggling veteran players are getting these chances. If you were in charge of this decision right now, would you let Adam Foote see out the season? Would you keep him around? Or would you get rid of him and bring someone else in to coach the team the rest of the way, risking a new coach bump?
Keep him in? Because how the hell can it get worse? Like, at this point, how the hell can the Canucks get even worse? They're at the bottom of the league. They've been so for most of the year. Why not? There's nothing to lose. It's not like Adam Foote ever had NHL experience, really, anyway. No. Like, they knew what they were getting into. They can change it up, sure, for next year, whatever, unless they signed him to another deal and they have to fire him and pay yet another coach for years when he's not coaching the team. But honestly, above my pay grade, I really could not care less who is the coach of the Vancouver Canucks, because I think it's embarrassing that they still go out there and exist.
Yeah, I mean, my instinct says let him see out the year and then get probably Manny Malhotra in. I think Manny would do a lot better with the team. Obviously, Abbotsford not getting results this year, but largely
that's mainly the Vancouver fault. It's mainly Vancouver's fault for A, getting rid of a lot of players and not re-signing them to stay in Abbotsford, or like B, I mean, Shelovs was going to be gone anyway, but they've also been dealing with their own injuries. and they just haven't replenished them, and then they don't bring anybody in on the NHL side because the NHL side is basically an AHL team at this point, and they've turned Abbotsford into, like, every week there's a new guy on a PTO, there's a guy called up from the ECHL, there's no consistency. So if they're going to not bring in Malhotra on the basis of Abbotsford being bad this year, it is completely and entirely their fault. It is not the fault of Ryan Johnson. It is not the fault of Manny Malhotra. It is completely and entirely Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin's fault for not knowing how to manage anything.
Yeah, my one concern right now with how Adam Foote has led us to the bottom is it's like, with where this team is right now, there's no excuse not to be playing the kids. And we're still seeing a lot more minutes go to guys who are just these veterans who are also not getting anything done, but also don't have a future in this organization. At least not a long one.
Evander Kane.
Yeah. Why are we not giving those minutes to our Liam Ogrins? Why are we not trying to get a bounce back out of Niels Höglander? Why are we doing this?
Like Niels Höglander spent 2 games in the box, and yet you have Evander Kane, the penalty minutes leader by a margin for this team. You still have him out here on the second freaking line. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. This entire team, this entire organization should be embarrassed from the bottom to the top.
And I mean, that's one of the things
no, I still have a point. Men, shut up. Teddy Bluger, they were talking about, apparently he's close to coming back. Why? Why would they bring him back? Because you know who comes out of the lineup then? Aatu Ratu comes out of the lineup. Aatu Ratu, who's young, useful, not a shit player. Get Teddy Bluger off this team. Get so many guys off this team. Get the team out of the league. I don't care at this point.
Devil's advocate there, I will say, with Bluger on an expiring contract, if you were to bring him back and then flip him at the deadline, or even flip David Kampf at the deadline and just throw Bluger into David Kampf's minutes.
Needs to be gone 5 minutes ago.
If you flipped one of them at the deadline, it can make some sense because you can get an asset and then get Ratu in. The thing is, that's what a logical coach would do at this point. We don't seem to have one of those right now. We seem to have a coach who just seems intent on, I don't even know what the goal is, what our identity is, what our anything is right now with Adam Foote.
Need I remind you all that this is a league that still refuses to acknowledge the part of enforcers and people and fights especially resulting in head trauma and CTE. This is a league that still denies that. Look at our coach and tell me he hasn't gone through some of that. Do you think he's making sound coaching decisions?
That was said by Kaja Antic.
Do you think? I don't think. That's why I don't think it's a horrible thing. They give them absolutely nothing in return too. The NHL, there's nothing. It's just such an awful. Everything about this sport sucks, and I hate it.
If the good people at CTESPN are looking for a new official Canucks podcast...
Yeah, Filipino. God,
but yeah,
it's just so bleak.
It's just like... Things are getting better in certain areas for the Canucks.
Are they?
Yeah, like they're getting young
they
players in.
They haven't won since last year! The last time they won in regulation.
On the ice, things are not getting better. Off the ice and in terms of like general direction from the front office and stuff, things are getting a little bit better because they are actually like making rebuilder moves and acknowledging that there needs to be a rebuild.
Yeah,
on
they're
the
not
ice,
pulling a New York.
On the ice, I have never seen things be worse. And things are this bad, and we're into obvious play the kids territory and still not playing the kids, which is the frustrating part. If they are to go out there and flip Kampf and or Bluger, I'm fine with keeping one to give you some veteran stability on the penalty kill and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you go out and you flip one of them at the deadline and you grab a mid-round pick back or something, and then Ratu can get more minutes because of it, great. If you don't go flip one of them, or even if you do flip one of them and Ratu still keeps ending up in the press box, that's a total failure on Adam Foote's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Foote's part. So I'm at a point where I am very frustrated with Adam Foote, while also acknowledging that no coach could make this team good with just how utterly disastrous things are, but also at a point where the one thing you could ask of a rebuilding coach, he's not doing. And that, to me, feels like the biggest failure of Adam Foote as Canucks coach so far.
They need to get rid of Thatcher Demko. Sorry, he's an old fuck who barely plays 20 games a year, getting paid $8.5 on a no-move clause. Who... Jim Rutherford was a goalie, right?
Yes.
He was a goalie. He should, they take a lot of, pucks to the head, too.
I could be wrong about this, but I think there was one part of that Demko extension that I actually quite liked that was baked into it.
I don't think there's anything good in extending Thatcher Demko.
I think most of the money that he's making,
mm-hmm.
at least after year one of the extension, is in bonuses. And if you buy out a contract, you buy out the salary, not the bonuses.
The base salary...
Year one, I think, is bad, but I think year 2 and 3 gets better.
They should have never kept him. They should have...
I still think it's a bad contract, but
everything about that should have been everything.
The part of it where a buyout after year one doesn't punish you too much against the cap is a little bit of a saving grace.
Thatcher Demko is his dog is cute. That's the one redeeming quality this man has. Other than that, why is he here?
With Demko too, it's just like, you know how good of a goalie he can be.
He can be. He was. If we're going to keep saying he can be, he's not anymore. If they're going to keep saying and doing this with Pettersson and being like, he's never going to get back to his prime. He's never going to do that again. He's never going to play like that again. Why do we give more praise to Thatcher Demko, who is even more so worse in that position, rather than Pettersson, where we're like, oh, shoving him to the dogs. He's still leading the team in points.
To be fair, leading this team in points is not difficult.
It's not difficult, but still, holy shit!
Yeah, no, like, they both need to be talked about in that conversation of, okay, we know what they can be. Be it. Prove you actually can be it, because they haven't been doing that. The one thing that they can do to earn those contracts is perform. And one of them is not performing up to his contract, and one of them... While performing up to his contract, when he plays... No,
he's not even doing that.
He plays on February 29th every year.
He plays, is he playing up to his contract? No, he's not going to be playing up to his contract because he wouldn't play up to an ELC. Where is he? Where does he go every year? He leaves more than my father does.
Island.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
When he's on his annual vacation to Robida Island...
Annual? Bi-monthly at this point.
I was going to say annual, and that is just a long vacation, but yeah, that works too.
I need to stop yelling. I'm just very mad at this right now, and
Are you?
As a fellow Sagittarius, Thatcher Demko is embarrassing to our kind.
I don't know what that means.
His birthday is 4 days after mine. That's the joke.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like... They never should have signed that contract. It's become a problem. I was going to say becoming a problem, but it's become a problem, especially because the contract hasn't even kicked in yet.
Yeah, and also because they signed it to keep Quinn Hughes happy, and then he left.
Well, back to...
you know, he had enough of his Quinn Hughes dinner club. Didn't even give a shit to address the frickin' team afterwards. Kiefer Sherwood did.
Well,
Quinn went to his car.
The other thing there, though, too, is that, you know what else they did to keep Quinn Hughes happy?
Make Adam Foote coach.
Make Adam Foote the head coach. There were a lot of Operation Keep Quinn Happy moves, which, honestly, I get where that comes from, because he is
It worked
maybe
with
the
Connor
most talented
McDavid, but
player
the
this
difference
franchise
is
ever
Connor
had.
McDavid has a spine.
But it's just like, now Quinn's gone, and you're seeing the effect of the gamble that they took in a good few of these guys, in that now they're locked into that Demko contract that is bleak.
Aging worse than Chris frickin' Jenner. Who's aging
got
badly?
Garland.
Caroline Levitt. She looks horrible. I don't like to comment on specifically women, but girl, you look ancient and you're 30? Not even? Maybe
Like
that happens
Beck.
when you're evil. Evil bitch. Anyway.
Aging like Carson Beck, the Miami quarterback who eternally looked tired. He's also been in college football for 7 years. I don't think he graduated.
I was gonna say
Hurricanes.
I don't think the Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, Miami Hurricanes.
I went to the Dolphins and then I was like, no, he just has a soup brain.
Carson Beck, I believe, has been in college for 7 years and not graduated.
That's head trauma sports. Oh my lord. He got the old eyes of Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, he just eternally looks like he's either tired or stoned or a little of both.
So he was a freshman in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, so was I. I have my degree. What can you say, Carson?
I think he's a national champion.
Okay, and?
I don't know. He can say that.
Okay.
With Georgia.
I'm also a district musical theater champion, so...
But are you a national musical theater champion?
Well, no, but that's because the pandemic happened, Alex.
Oh, well, fair enough.
And also, that's not... Surrey doesn't get recognized for things.
This is the most off-the-rails episode we've ever done, and that's saying something.
Can you tell I'm a little bit stressed out?
But yeah, just also, you extended Connor Garland as well to keep Quinn happy. Now that Quinn's gone, he just does not look like he wants to be here at all.
Okay.
Wonder if he gets traded too.
He's pulling a Fafa Pico.
I'm interested to see what happens there, because I think you will get some interest in a bunch of the different wingers. It might be more of an off-season thing, just with how salary cap constraints are affecting different teams right now, and it's easier to make moves like that in the off-season. But I do think
Vegas will do it, and they'll...
certainly a veteran winger
kill
of some
somebody.
sort is going to get moved.
What ridiculous...
And you're
contract
locked
did they
into
give
this
the defender? Give me a second.
Adam Foote contract for at least the rest of this year, which was a real rough decision at one point, and now just while you're sitting at the bottom of the league right now, again, not a bad thing for a rebuilding team to be doing. Not playing the kids while you're doing it, that's a problem. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this team anymore. Let's talk about a different team in Vancouver that made the biggest move in league history up to date, the biggest trade in league history. The Vancouver Goldeneyes pulling off...
I'm not done about the NHL.
Oh, never mind. The Vancouver Goldeneyes didn't do anything yet. Hold on.
Not yet. There was a goalie fight yesterday, and I...
Oh, I was going to do the Goldeneyes and then the goalie fight.
Oh, okay.
Because Vancouver...
Okay, yeah, sure.
Do you want to do the goalie fight first?
No, it's fine.
You can pick which one we talk about.
No, just do the Goldeneyes. It's fine.
Goldeneyes. Okay, so Vancouver have acquired... God.
This is working
Man,
well.
Take over, I can't talk.
The Goldeneyes did, I think, the biggest trade in PWHL history. 3 for 3. They traded Kayla Kaja. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong page here. So, Ottawa. They traded with the Ottawa Charge. So, RIP to the Goldeneyes players. They went from having the second best jerseys in the league to the worst. The Lightning just scored again. Anyway, Ottawa, the Ottawa Charge, no knocks on Ottawa as a team. They're great. Their head coach is so nice.
Jersey and logo.
It's awful. Ottawa, I'm sure it's great, Anyway, Ottawa receives Michaela Kaja, Brooke McQuigg, and Emma Greco. Vancouver receives Menon McMahon, Anna.
No relation,
Mexer.
hopefully.
I don't think so. No.
I have my doubts.
And Anna Shokina. Yeah. So they make a few trade. Goldeneyes got all forwards. The Charge get one defenseman or defender and 2 forward. Yeah. I mean, it was certainly something. I was a bit shocked when I got that email, but it's something that happened.
Yeah. No, definitely. I've lost my train of thought.
LTIR pool. So they have 16 mil in their LTIR pool. They currently have cap space. They're over the limit somehow, but that's because of their LTIR pool. So Vegas could definitely take him.
Vegas will save the money, though, to go for someone else.
I'm not going to say what I was thinking.
I know exactly who they're going to go. They're going to save their money and make a trade for Artemi Panarin.
Well,
I know
exactly. Make a comment.
I know what you're thinking. No.
I do like collecting them. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's move on.
Goalie fight?
Goalie fight, yeah.
Goalie fight!
There was a goalie fight yesterday. I was watching... Oh, god damn it, they scored again! So, I mentioned that I'm a San Jose Sharks fan now. And it's not that I, never... It's not that I never hated... Wait. It's not that I hated them before, it's just... I always liked the Sharks. I always thought they were a fun team, even when, they would give us a hard time in the postseason. I always thought the Sharks were super cool, and they're really exciting to watch. So I've decided that's my team now, because I don't know, it's nice and I like the Shark. And my favorite, the one that got away, Tyler Toffoli, is on that team. So how could I hate them? Yeah, San Jose Sharks. Yesterday, I was watching this game. They were beating the Florida Panthers. I had the California feed on. I was living my best life, and I decided. I looked at the DoorDash app, and it said 40 minutes or something for delivery for Nando's, and there's an extra charge because I live in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go drive and get it. So I call in at intermission, the second intermission, and I call in, and I'm like, okay. It's gonna be 20 minutes, and I was like, sure, whatever, it takes around that time to drive. So I drive there, and I get my food and everything. I start driving back home, and I noticed on my phone, because there is 3-0, I think, headed into the third for San Jose. They ended up winning 4-1. Yeah, it was 3-0 headed into the third. I noticed on my phone, when I pulled up to Nando's, that the third had started, and that Florida had scored, and I was like, okay, oh well. Yeah. Then I am pulling out of the parking lot there, and I'm trying to get back onto the road. And I'm on the phone with one of my friends. I get a text message, and because my phone hasn't hit driving mode yet, it goes to my watch, and it just says in all capitals, goalie fight. Goalie fight is the message I get. Yeah, so the goalies fought Alex Nedeljkovic, and basically what happened was Vinny Desharnais, who also scored his second career NHL goal yesterday, and it was a beautiful goal, insane. Yeah, he scored his second career NHL goal yesterday. He takes a tripping penalty. Also, earlier in the game, he was kind of getting into it with Matthew Tkachuk, who made his season return, but really no one cares about him. Except for, it's the second coming of not Jesus. Anyway, the opposite, really. Anyway, so he's getting into it with Tkachuk. That was back in the first. He takes a tripping penalty, but then Evan Rodriguez somehow went unpenalized. I'm shocked the Florida Panthers get away with something. Once again. He unpenalized after the whistle, goes in and checks Desharnais, in the numbers and down the board. He falls down in the corner. And so the scrum starts in the corner, because obviously, and it's right near the San Jose net. Alex Nedeljkovic is friends with Vinny Desharnais. He decides to jump in. Because, friendship is magic. Yeah, that's the San Jose Sharks. It works. It works for a lot of teams. Yeah, friendship, the power of friendship. Yeah, well, it didn't work for Sergei Bobrovsky, who decided to race down the ice, flip his glove and blocker off, and go up towards Nedeljkovic and fight him. Here's the thing. The NHL has not had a goalie fight since 2020, and it was a Battle of Alberta, and everyone on the ice already had a dance partner, right? In that game, and that was just... was it Smith and Talbot?
Smith and Talbot, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mike Smith and Cam Talbot. That was the last goalie fight that the NHL's had. And there's been a couple of almost tussles.
But the refs stupidly intervened.
I'm still so pissed they didn't let Marc-Andre Fleury fight Jordan Binnington. Because I think that would have just been hilarious.
Any ref who intervenes to stop a goalie fight should be fired.
I'm so sad that Fleury... I mean, it is their job. I'm so sad that Fleury never got to fight somebody.
Agreed. It shouldn't be part of their job. They should not be allowed to stop fun.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm a Canucks fan. I need some joy out of this game.
Yeah. I've given up. There was a scrum in the corner, but it wasn't like they were actively fighting, and someone's hurt. Who's number 67 on the Lightning?
I don't know.
Is that Radish?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, well, I think he just got taken out by Ryan Reeves. So, yeah, anyway. That's what I was trying to think. I'm thinking. My brain's loading. Goalie fight, yep. Yeah, so Sergei Bobrovsky and Alex Nedeljkovic, they fight. They don't land a lot of punches. I think Ned landed one. But also, they have all of their goalie gear aside from their masks and
they both They both had this expression of polar bear in Arlington, Texas the whole time, but that's half the fun.
Yeah. Nedeljkovic wrestled Bobrovsky to the ground, which amazing. And of course, the two goalies that fight are the old Russian guy and then the Serbian. I know my people. Yeah. So, and then after that, they're trying to figure out the penalties. Florida gets a power play out of that somehow. They both get 5 minutes each for fighting. Wes McCauley was on the call, which was great. But the thing is, they let Sergei Bobrovsky, I don't know if he had an equipment issue or whatever, or he thought that he was ejected, but it took them a while to tell him that he wasn't. But they let him, this was 14 minutes left in the third. They just let Sergei leave for, I swear to God, 10 minutes. He was gone for a while. And, Tarasov, he starts getting ready, the backup goaltender for Florida. He starts getting ready, he goes out to the crease, and then he gets called back by Paul Maurice. He's waiting there, they're all looking down the tunnel, and it still takes forever for Bob to get back out there. And, yeah, it was something.
Goalie fights are just...
amazing.
A thing of beauty.
How is that a penalty? He
I
just
don't
landed
know.
Awkwardly. Kind of in the numbers, I guess, but yeah. Bro. Anyway, sorry, I have I have a little window playing the Lightning Sharks game right now.
More goalie fights. More goalie
Not
fights.
yet. Oh,
No.
wait,
I'm saying we need more. I'm advocating for more goalie fights.
Yeah.
Anything else to talk about in this sport, or should we move on to ones that actually bring people joy? For reasons other than goalie fights.
Well, I don't know if baseball brings me joy right now, but
sports that are capable. Football.
Yep. You have this one.
Niners lose. Week 18 was practice. This time we brought out the belt. 41-6. The most entertaining football game I have watched as a Seahawks fan since Super Bowl 48. What really stands out about making this game, maybe the NFC Championship the year after. Anyway, the most fun part of this game for me as a Seahawks fan, apart from all of it, was that the game-winning point was scored 13 seconds into the game.
Oh, yeah.
Rashid, as Jaden said in his guest appearance last week, what the Seahawks need to do is have a fast start and get the crowd into things early. Boy, did they do that. Rashid Shaheed taking the opening kickoff back 95 yards to the house, forcing a turnover on the Niners' first drive, just completely bullying the Niners from start to finish once again. Let them have a few points in the second quarter so they could feel like they were doing something, then went back to just utterly dismantling them. And I mean, possibly my favorite tweet of all time coming as a result of this game from professional baseball player and older brother of Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cannon Smith-Njigba. Just pulling it up right now here. Well, I gotta scroll back a while. I was celebrating this one a little too hard. Where in the hell is this tweet?
It was something he wanted a little brother.
Something along the lines of, Jack's always wanted a little brother to bully. Welcome to the family, Diamador Lenore.
Yeah.
Lenore is still talking trash a week later. Just take your L, little bro.
Literally.
He does this so often, too, where he will talk a big game, get exposed for being the fraudulent cornerback that he is, and then keep talking. Just shut your mouth. One of the most beautiful sporting events I've ever watched. Sam Darnold getting it done on the big stage. Didn't have the biggest performance statistically, but a lot of that has to do with the constant short fields he was getting by the Niners turning over the ball.
Yeah, I was doing play-by-play for a hockey game. I was working a hockey game during this. And during the intermissions and stuff like that, we would be updating and looking at the score, and there were a lot of people that were also, like, paying attention because, like local teams, right? Because a lot of people in the Lower Mainland are Seahawks fans, or just paying attention to football in general. And yeah, there were a lot of whispers of, like, just like, oh, it's, like, this big. And then every time, it was just so funny. Like, bro, the Edmonton Oilers got the same amount of points in a game where one goal is 1 point compared to a goal being 3. And I'm not getting into football scoring right now. It's ridiculous. But
so just 3 things I want to bring up here. 1, since Kyle Shanahan has taken over as head coach of the 49ers, they have scored 6 or less points precisely 4 times. 2 of those have been in the last 2 weeks against the Seahawks. 2, so I was at work this night. A customer walked into my store right before halftime wearing a 49ers jersey, a 49ers jacket, and a 49ers hat. I had on this very Seahawks hat. We lock eyes, whatever. I have to try to hide my shit-eating grin as Kenneth Walker scores his first touchdown of the game as this man is directly in front of me. Talking about the comeback.
amazing.
Beautiful moment. And I just want to talk about how much this Seahawks team love being villains. because we had a moment late in the game where Jackson Smith and Jigba walked up to a guy in the fans who had offered Jackson his belt. JSN takes the belt over to the sideline, and him, Leonard Williams, and Ernest Jones take turns pretending to go belt to ass on the Niners.
Oh my god.
On video.
Football's great.
I love everything about this Seahawk team so much. So, huge championship weekend coming up. Seahawks once again at home taking on the LA Rams. New England going to Denver to take on the Broncos after their game was mysteriously canceled, leading to Denver being given the spot automatically for some reason. Don't know how that works, but anyway. The idea, too, of if Seattle can get past the Rams, and this should be a fantastic game, they always are when we take on the Rams. If we can get to the Super Bowl and have it against either Denver or New England, the two Super Bowl opponents that I can remember from my time as a Seahawks fan, that's going to be amazing. I am so excited for the possibility of this. I am looking forward to that game.
I have one comment to make about it.
Yes.
You shaved the playoff beard. If they
It was a
lose
Whitecaps playoff beard anyway,
yes,
and that already
but
blew it.
Also, if they lose, it's on you. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I didn't shave it for the Whitecaps, and the Whitecaps still lost, so.
Yeah.
Or had their final mysteriously canceled and not played.
Mysteriously canceled. Florida got hit by a hurricane.
Baseball.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
The Mets, baby.
Bo Bichette signed with the Mets.
The Mets,
Whatever.
baby. All about the Mets. Gotta love the Mets. Come on, Mets. Hit a home run. Go Mets. All about the Mets.
Hey, I'll just remind you that we beat the Yankees without Bo. So, Bo Bichette
Miguel Rojas.
leaves I'm Going to Kill You in Minecraft. Bo Bichette leaves the Toronto Blue Jays for the New York Mets, who, need I remind everybody, only made the playoffs 2 years ago. They didn't make it last year when the team he was with went to the World Series majorly without him. The Mets only made the playoffs because of Grimace, the McDonald's mascot. Just gonna leave that there for y'all. He signs with the Mets. I mean, the Blue Jays said that they were focusing on Kyle Tucker, which I'm going to get into in a second. But yeah, good luck with the Mets, buddy. They're probably still going to be ass. Anyway, Kyle Tucker.
Can I quickly jump in for one small thing? Just need to talk about the Grimace Mets quickly.
Oh, yeah. That
Because
was such a fun era.
Listen, as a Yankees fan, I don't like the Mets. I don't, hate them, but I definitely don't look on them fondly. The Grimace Mets were so much fun. The Grimace Mets were so much fun.
The Mets have fun. The Yankees are horrible fascists, okay? That's just how they are.
Well, it's just you never like the little brother team in the rivalry, so you just, have that. But, even I have to admit how fun the Grimace Mets were. Just random good luck charms all year. That was just the most chaotic, random ass shit I've seen from a sports team. And it was fantastic. Sorry, Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, so Kyle Tucker signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who, if you're unaware with baseball, won the World Series in back-to-back years. And this, for the non-baseball people, also a bunch of his contract is deferred, and I think LA has over 1.8 billion or something like that in deferred contracts, which is insane that that's allowed. B, B, I'm surprised. No, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, what was my train of thought? Oh yeah, so Kyle Tucker. I'm gonna put this in perspective for the NHL fans who might not know about free agency or baseball things or whatever. It's like an NHL free agent deciding trying to make a really tough decision of where he's gonna sign, and he's
there's a bunch of teams that are gunning for him that are all very good teams. But then they're like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna sign with the Florida Panthers. Girl, fuck you. It was so basic. It's such a basic bitch answer to go with, oh, I'm gonna go with a team that will pay me out the ass because they can, because billionaires somehow exist in this horrible society that we've created. Or, I'm not taking any credit. America, you did that yourself. Or, I'm gonna blame men. You did this to yourself, Alex. You're part of the problem. Yeah, like, they just choose this, and they're like, oh yeah, they already have a stacked roster. There's nothing of importance that he's going to do to this team.
Yeah, I think was
that too harsh?
With Tucker in particular, too, it's interesting because a lot of the teams that were in the race, apart from the Dodgers, had concerns about the fact that Kyle Tucker doesn't actually like baseball.
Yeah, like, he's not...
Like, he's just good at it. He's not actually that competitive. He doesn't want to be, like... And this, I think, part of this is what factored into him going to the Dodgers, is that he really is not the kind of guy who's going to want to be the face of a franchise. He's going to want to fade into the background. And so in LA,
like,
he's going to be, like... He's not a top 5 player on the Dodgers. He would be pretty much anywhere else. So I think that factors in as well for him, and, like... Honestly, if I'm one of these other teams...
So he's the opposite of Mitch Marner?
If I'm one of these teams as well, I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get Kyle Tucker, because I could see that contract going wrong in a lot of places with the lack of commitment. With that being said, though, the new CBA negotiation in MLB that's coming up, because I believe they're due for a new CBA for 2027, that's going to get interesting, because you have the Dodgers... There's a lot of online narrative right now saying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball.
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers are not good for baseball. I don't think that the Dodgers are what's ruining baseball.
No, that's the Yankees.
Well, what I'm going to say is what's ruining baseball is teams like the Pirates, like the Reds, like the Brewers, the smaller market teams who have these owners who can afford to be competitive, but are refusing to spend the money to actually build around their cores, allowing teams like the Dodgers to do this. Because you have...
I've heard that before.
Yeah. Like, you have this going on, and nobody's stopping it, but you still have... MLB desperately needs a salary floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to force some of these small market owners to actually spend money to actually try to make competitive teams. Because you'll have a team like the Cincinnati Reds, I think are a perfect example of this, had a fantastic season, looked like they were building something. Owner decided he didn't want to spend that much money and hasn't made any effort to enhance the team, go on and try to continue their momentum off of this year. And they're probably going to regress. You have the Pittsburgh Pirates with a generational talent in their rotation in Paul Skeens. They're not building a core group to keep Skeens. The small market teams need to start doing something. That's not saying what the Dodgers are doing should be allowed either. That is absolutely a problem as well when the Dodgers are being allowed to constantly use this deferred money and get whatever they want. And even if you look at some of these bigger market teams, like if you look at... I, as a Yankees fan, despise what the Yankees are doing right now. The Yankees... You have this amazing thing where Hal Steinbrenner is both acting like a big market and a small market owner, where they have one of the highest payrolls in the league already, but he keeps trying to cut costs, spread the money out over a bunch of players by giving out terrible contracts to players who aren't worth it, and plead poverty. There's nothing that makes sense about what Hal Steinbrenner is doing. There's nothing that makes sense about, frankly, what any MLB owner is doing. It's just become such a mess that we are totally due for a lockout with the next CBA, and I am so interested to see what happens, because it is going to shape so much about the future of baseball and whether or not you're going to see the Dodgers continue to consolidate talent and just further push themselves away from everybody else, or whether or not there's going to be something coming in to force other owners to actually do something.
I can't wait for the World Baseball Association to come out of this.
I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. I'm It's amazing, too, because this sport is such an absolute mess right now. And yet I'm so excited for the next baseball season to come around.
I'm excited, but that's because I might actually go to my... Actually, it's not my first MLB game. I've been to an MLB game before, but it's going to be... I'm hoping to go to Toronto to see my first Blue Jays game. So it would be an MLB game that I'm actually invested in. So I'm excited.
The first time someone says they were hoping to go to Toronto.
I've been to Toronto. I really like Toronto, actually. Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else about the Blue Jays. Oh, yeah, because my first MLB game was the Angels versus the Orioles in, 2013. I don't really have any memory of it.
It's funny, because my first MLB game was actually... The Blue Jays were in it. It was in Seattle, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably closer for me to go, but I don't want to do that.
No, right now, definitely. Yeah. My Little League team was playing in a tournament not in Seattle, a few hours north of Seattle in Linden. But the day before the tournament started,
the American Girl Star was.
We didn't go there. But we got a section at the Mariners Blue Jays game, and I was one of 3 people in that section cheering for Seattle. And the Mariners won, so, I was enjoying that. Hold on, I think I can go through every MLB game I've been to in order, because it's not that many. Mariners Blue Jays. Mariners Astros.
Ew.
Mariners Yankees.
Ew.
Mariners White Sox. Blue Jays
Ew.
Twins.
Yeah.
And it was Mariners beat the Jays, Mariners beat the Astros, Yankees beat the Mariners, Mariners beat the White Sox, Twins beat the Jays.
Don't remind me of that last game. Don't mock me with that. Actually, I hope you stub your toe when we're done this show.
Knowing me, I will. And speaking of being done this show, do we have anything else to say?
I quit.
All right, join me next week to find out who the new co-host of the Chroncast is after Kaja's quit. Thank you to everybody for listening. You can check us out at Nuck Chronicles on social media. Please like and subscribe to the show. If you've made it to the end of this episode, why? Thank you to Helmut Marko for listening, and we'll see the 3 of you who are left next week. Goodbye.